What's up, everybody? We got episode 3 of DARYL, DIXON, the Book of Carol this week, and there will, of course, be spoilers, so you've been warned. Now let's get into the episode. This week's episode opened with Marion Jeanette's backstory and her version or experience with the apocalypse breakout. She worked as a janitor at the museum that housed the Mona Lisa, and now she, of course, has it with her at her base. The part that drove her to where she is, though, as far as the villain is concerned, was seeing her husband die after not being let in by security. Then jump to the present, and she meets Carol at the Mona Lisa in the dining hall. Carol has a "who the hell is this bitch" moment when Jeanette forces a man to eat off the floor as she really has no idea what she's gotten herself into. That feeling is only increased for Carol when she and her new acquaintance Remy stumble upon the enhanced walker experiments going on at the fortress. These new walkers, too, across all the spin off shows so far, have been one of the coolest parts, and they're definitely a big reason I care so much about this franchise again. Anyway, back at Mont Saint Michel, Sylvie escapes her room where she was being held captive after finding Laurent in their dungeon. But when she starts freaking out in front of everyone outside, she's pushed over the edge by a guard and, well, splat. They don't tell Laurent about it though, as he's being prepared for the ceremony, which just happens to be in the same spot where she had just died, and that's maybe the craziest move you can make until you realize they're going to be using her as their walker now too to see if Laurent can actually survive a bite. Luckily, DARYL, Isabelle, and Falou arrive at the back doors. They bring Laurent out for the ceremony, and DARYL takes Sylvie out right before she bites him. He's going to stick around too to cause some DARYL chaos while the other two get Laurent out of there. DARYL is able to take out some of the cult members, but not enough, as he's taken down after some shaky action sequences. I say shaky because they were like 50-50, good and bad, and I feel like that kind of has something to do with something Norman Reedus mentioned about the Red Mill applying to this too, that these close quarter fights for him, they're just tough, but they were still decent enough, and Isabelle, after getting separated from the other two, joins him as a prisoner. Back to Carol though, she's serving food and asking around about DARYL DIXON. She runs into Cadrone, the man who let our guys go, at the end of season 1, and he paid the price for that, losing a couple fingers. But he does tell her where he is, which will end up coming back to bite her when Remy sells her out to save Julian, which will probably end up coming back to bite him. Carol, she's a survivor though, and she thinks on her feet when she's caught, telling Jeanette that she's looking for DARYL to kill him, not to find him. So she gets to tag along as they head to Mont Saint Michel the next day. As Carol, she's stuck with crazy. We also saw Laurent guilt-ridden over the fact that he kind of enjoyed being everyone's golden boy and everyone thinking he was so special, but also, of course, over the death of Sylvie. There was also some incredible stuff where DARYL and Isabelle, held captive as the prisoners, continue to grow closer together, but especially on DARYL's side of things as he's really starting to grow a liking for Isabelle. The episode closed with Jeanette and Carol arriving at Mont Saint Michel, where Carol realizes she's been played. Jeanette, she's going to unleash her advanced walkers on the Isle, and she plans for Carol to be amongst them. I gotta be honest, that was probably my least favorite episode from these first 3. It just started off kind of rough for me, but I was super into it by the time that DARYL and the gang got to breaking up the ceremony. It gradually got better, it just wasn't enough. And so that'll do it for my breakdown of the 3rd episode from DARYL DIXON, The Book of Carol. Even though I didn't love the episode, it wasn't terrible, and I can't be too mad as Carol and DARYL are in the same spot finally. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode though down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.